All right, let me just say this. The world has gone mad, and we shouldn't be surprised, especially as it relates to the Middle East, because God said that all of this was going to happen. Now, I am looking at a story. I mean, I'm sorry. You can't make this stuff up. This is pretty amazing, okay? Let me read you the title of the story, and it pretty much says all. The title of the story basically says, United States in lockstep with allies looking at all options on Iran over nuclear deal. Okay, let me just tell you what they're basically saying. The United States is basically saying, we're giving up any scope of influence that we have with respect to the Mideast and Iran, and we're kind of going to go with the program with Britain, France, and Germany as we allow Russia to handle the overwhelming amount of negotiations that relate to the issue of Iran. Now, what are they talking about? Of course, they are talking about the JCPOA. And for those of you that don't know much about it, it was a junk deal that never meant anything. That is the reality of it. It was a political stunt that was designed to give some kind of clout to everybody involved to be able to say, we've got Iran in compliance, when the whole world knows that Iran was never in compliance with the JCPOA. They have broken all the rules. They've enriched uranium at insane levels. We already know that. And yet it's so interesting to me how bad these people want to open up this deal again, even though Iran has violated literally every single aspect of it. But let me tell you what's going on, and let me tell you what they're pushing for. They're pushing for some kind of a pseudo peace that would exist by basically getting Iran to say, okay, we'll do whatever you say, even though everybody knows they're not going to be doing it. And they're going to basically go to Russia and say, Russia, that's your mess to fix. You deal with it, because we really want nothing to do with it. We just simply want to look good in front of the globalist international scene, and you go behind closed doors and deal with the dirty work we don't want to deal with. Of course, Russia is saying, no problem. I talk to Iran every day. That's not a big deal. And lo and behold, we are getting ourselves one step closer to Ezekiel 38. You want to know why? Because Bennett is loving. That is the prime minister of Israel. He is loving every bit of Russia handling the mess with Iran. I can promise you that. And it's going to come to a point, as it says in Ezekiel chapter 38, where Israel is going to have a false sense of security. They're going to have unfenced walls, unfenced cities, unwalled cities, and quite frankly, when they get attacked, they're going to be attacked by Russia, because Russia is going to want what they have, with a conglomerate of other nations, of course. And folks, we are going to see more and more evidence that God's word is true. Now, I think the church will be raptured by the time that happens, which is why I'm so blown away by all this news that I'm seeing, because I think that the rapture is closer than a lot of us think. Jesus is coming back, you guys. This stuff is incredible. You can't make it up. Know and understand that the true and living God is around the corner for his church, and we ought to be excited about it. We need to be preaching the gospel. We need to be fighting the good fight, getting in there and doing everything we can to stand for righteousness. Why? Because God commands us to. God bless you guys.